Welcome back to UCTV. I'm Meadow Shrons.
And I'm Jacob Keenright. This week is jam-packed with information and a few interviews, so keep watching for more.
Before we begin, we would like to remind you to buy a yearbook before the deadline. They're looking pretty good this year, and the yearbook staff did something different with it. We are creating a timeline-style yearbook. This allowed our staff not to have empty pages throughout the yearbook if things were canceled or postponed. It is looking pretty cool.
A few other announcements. The 100th day of school is coming up on February 4th, and the FCA is doing a blood drive on the 9th.
With all of this mention of organizations, Chrislyn found a few more organizations that are preparing for Valentine's Day. So let's send it over to her.
Last week, FFA and Stuco started up some projects for Valentine's Day. FFA will be selling small bouquets and single stem roses just like they did in the previous year. They will be needing orders by February 5th to guarantee that you get all your flowers, but they will be selling extras until the 12th. A small bouquet is $5 and a single rose is $3. Stuco will be doing their annual candy grants, and those will be sent in by parents or students. Stuco is selling suckers, Pop Rocks, sodas, Hershey bars, and even candy bouquets. All the prices are labeled on order forms, which you can get from the teachers themselves or the shelf in the middle school. This is UCTV.
Thank you, Chrislyn. There's a lot of good things happening in the school.
Yes, every month our school has 2 students of the month, one from the elementary and one from the high school.
Sabri Locke caught up with our January students of the month just after they received their rewards.
I'm here with January Students of the Month, Tristan and Mackenzie. So guys, how does it feel to be Student of the Month?
I'm so surprised on what Mom told me.
Yeah? Well, what did you guys win?
We got $25.
Nice. Well, what are some tips you guys can give other students to help them win next
By
time?
helping people be respectful to God.
Yeah.
And just being good all around students.
Alright guys, so make good grades and be kind to others.
Congrats, guys. It takes a lot to become the student of the month.
Yes, good job. Switching topics, a few weeks ago, Caden Bordeman took over the history side of things on UCTV, and this week he has some pretty cool info about our gyms.
Since the founding of Union City School, there have been 3 gyms. There is, of course, the new gym on the northwest side of town, and the old gym right by the cafeteria. But you may be surprised to learn that the Tiger's Den was the original gym. The original floor is still there. Since the old gym was built in 1961, the Tiger's Den has served many purposes for our school. When I was in elementary, there was an auditorium where we would hold all of our assemblies, and the gym floor was the stage. There was also a computer lab, the old superintendent's office in the back towards double glass doors. I remember having to visit Mr. Carroll in that office quite a few times. My grandmother, Kay Borneman, actually played basketball in the Tiger's Den when she was my age. Just like the rest of Union City, the school has a very rich history, and many parts of that history can still be seen today. Back to you.
Thank you, Caden. I was never informed that the Tiger's Den was the original gym. How about you, Meadow? Did you know?
No, I didn't, but it makes some sense because when I first came to the school, cheer practice was in the Tiger's Den, and I honestly thought I was going to fall through the floor, but now it's just a normal feeling. Another interesting thing I found from that is that it used to be an auditorium and computer lab, not even 10 years ago.
That is pretty wild. At least we don't have to play basketball in there now. It's pretty small. Speaking of basketball, let's send it to Tyler Ross with an update on the last half of basketball season.
Union City basketball playoffs start February 12th, and shortly after that, spring baseball and softball season starts up. Softball starts March 1st, and boys start March 2nd. This is UCTV Sports. Tyler Ross, back to you.
Thank you, Tyler. We wish all teams good luck heading into the final stretch of the season.
Next, we have Lane Casey with more information on the student IDs and parking passes.
As many of you may know, last week I discussed getting student IDs for our new safety guidelines. In addition to that, we are also set to receive parking passes to go on our windshields. The reasoning for this is because there have been few incidents where kids from other schools were showing up and it was just taking up parking space and just creating problems. So the fact that they're going to do this is going to help us tremendously. On top of students getting parking passes, teachers are also set to receive parking passes. This is going to keep an organization in our school and keep it as safe as possible.
Thank you, Lane. That is pretty exciting that not only are we getting IDs, but also getting student parking passes.
Finally, we send it over to Josh Morrison with his speed round of important worldwide news.
We have another edition of World News Speed Round, and some of the most interesting news stories we found over the past week include: one single winning ticket for 1 billion Mega Millions jackpot was sold in Michigan. United Kingdom is in lockdown until January 17th. Hank Aaron passed away on January 22nd. The Super Bowl is February 7th at 5:30 between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. China flies warplanes close to Taiwan in early test of Biden. Man survives 18 days lost in Australian bush. Mexico's president tests positive for COVID-19. This is your rapid fire world news update for this week. Back to you.
Thank you, Josh. I'm so sorry, Schmidt, for the Packers losing. There's always next year, though.
Well, I'm Jacob Cainrad,
And I'm Meadow Strons.
and this is UCTV. See you next week.
Welcome back to the Whatever Show. We are taking a break from the seniors' Who's Who this week to help all of you last-minute thinkers plan a Valentine's Day that you and your significant other will never forget.
Although neither of us have ever been on a Valentine's Day date, we have pulled our thoughts together to compile a list of the do's and don'ts for the Day of Love.
So, to start our list off, you can buy flowers for your date. And it is becoming more and more popular every year for the guy to get flowers from the girl.
Find a meaningful gift. It does not have to be a cliche box of chocolates, a necklace, or even a big teddy bear. Find a gift that that person will love.
Exactly. And of course, you want to make reservations for the big day. You don't want to get to your restaurant and not have a table.
No kidding. Write a note to your significant other telling them how much they mean to you.
And finally, actually ask your date to be your Valentine. That is so important.
Now here's the don'ts. Don't make plans with your date and then ditch them. That's just a standard for any and every date.
I mean, come on, guys. Again, this is really important. Don't forget about Valentine's Day. I mean, how embarrassing.
Don't break up with your significant other on Valentine's Day, and don't ask them out on Valentine's Day.
That is crucial. And finally, don't set your expectations so high. Try to stay realistic. And of course, now that we have gone over the do's and don'ts for Valentine's Day, what should you do for the day?
Well, here's a few date ideas that we've thought of. You can take them to a nice restaurant, somewhere you normally wouldn't go for a date night.
And since COVID is a thing, maybe you stay home this year and cook dinner.
Do some craft or activity to make new memories with that special person. Maybe even start a tradition.
And one of my favorites is to make chocolate-covered strawberries, which is both a fun idea and is super romantic, and you're left with a super tasty snack.
In the end, just plan something that you will both have fun with, and remember to enjoy the moment with your loved one, because that time is really precious.
We hope you all have a fun night and safe with your Valentine's Day. And remember just who gave you all those tips and how to make it a memorable night.
Make sure you come back next week to see what other Valentine's Day surprises we have.
See you next week!